XAMPP. Apache server. MySQL server. All right. Ready. Yeah. Then the code. Yeah. First, let me find the source code. Yeah. Now this one. Yeah. Here. Yeah. Here, the source code. Yeah. University added data. Yeah. So the PHP file, JavaScript file, some images. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let me create a project first. In NetBeans, let me create a project first. New project, PHP project. Yeah. All right, the location, htdocs, exam, htdocs. We need a project name. So here, let me just call the same name as the sample project. It's called a University Edit Data. Okay, yeah, all right. Edit data. All right. Yeah, so now we just take the, default, finish. All right. Yeah, so now it's an empty project. Empty project, we don't need this index PHP. Yeah. All right, so let me just close all these files. This index PHP, we don't need it. Yeah, let me just remove it. Delete it. All right. Yeah, so it's an empty project. Let me copy the code. University edit data, yeah, here. Okay. All these folders, files, I want to copy, drag and drop, put under this source files. Yeah, okay, yeah, all there at the same time. All right. Okay. Yeah. Now ready. So we're ready to run this sample project. Yeah. So let me, remove. Remove this. Okay. All right. So here. Okay. This bar. All right. Yeah. So here, look at this university input. This is our old file. Yeah. Remember the one I showed you. Oh, actually the one I showed you last time called University View, UniView. That one, I modified the interface slightly. So I add, input elements. Yeah. So this is a newer version. So we studied this newer version. All right. So when we start, we should run this file. Okay. Uninput.php. So let me right click it. Run. Yeah, so you see, displayed. All right. So let me, yeah. So here, let me just, yeah. So this simple interface. Okay. All right. So here, that's the, first version feature. Second version, you can see I add a lot of new elements. Now, so let me show the feature one by one. So then I explain these features. All right. First, enter new data for each table. Okay, yeah, all right. You click New Row button. You click it, yeah, so the new input fields displayed. All right. So here you can, let me enter 23, student number. Okay. Name, let me enter Bob, for example. Class 5 here. Major, let me enter engineering, AENG, for example. Yeah. And enter button. Click it. See? So the new row is entered immediately. Okay, all right. Yeah. So although here sorting, yeah, so here we have sorting. Each one, ascending, descending, sorting, yeah, ascending, descending, sorting, yeah. So that's simple, yeah. That's the, we modify our query. Yeah. Although we modify our query, but in our PHP code, we need a parameter to control. Yeah. So here, later when I explain the code. So for many features, each one, we may need to use one parameter to control. How to do a specific feature. So, all right, so I will explain that details. All right, so after input feature, now edit feature. Click edit button. So here we can change. Yeah. All right, yeah. So for example, 2, 3, I change to 1, 3. All right, yeah. So 5, I change to 4, and so on. Okay, all right. ENG, I can change to math. All right, yeah. Then, so the edit button becomes update button. So that means we need to do the update feature. Yeah. So edit button, we need to retrieve old data and display in the same location in the table. Yeah. But this time, update button, update. See? Changes. Okay? Changes. All right. Then, the last editing feature, delete, DEL. So we remove the current row, delete. Okay, all right, yeah. Click DEL, it's gone. All right, yeah. So here you can see that's already our main basic features. So then, next time I will give you another feature so that all the main features, I like you to learn. Yeah. I will, give you quickly. Next time I will give you the transcript feature. Transcript. Yeah. So the last main feature, transcript. Yeah. After that, then, after you understand the code, so then you just do a few more simple features for practice. Okay? Yeah. So then, I hope, so if you feel you learn the coding well, so you can do, an optional feature. Okay? All right. Yeah. So here, this show max feature, I I leave it to you. Okay, I do not want to give it to you. So this show max, you click the button, you see the maximum of the number of the first column. So here you only need to practice first column, because this one I want you to practice Ajax technology. Ajax. Yeah. Here I don't have it. Yeah, as I remember, I don't have it. The code here. Yeah, nothing happens. I click show max, nothing happens because I didn't put the code there. Yeah. You need to add a code. You click the max. You need to use the Ajax. I will talk about Ajax next time. Yeah. Yeah. So today I feel I may not have the time to talk about Ajax. So I will leave it. Next time I talk about Ajax and jQuery. Okay? All right. Yeah. Oh, jQuery version. I also plan to give you the jQuery version, some sample code, jQuery version. But leave a few features for you to practice the jQuery version next time. Okay? All right? Yeah. So that's our, here, what do you see? The basic features of our second sample project. Yeah. So I have uploaded the code. Yeah. So after today's class, I will upload the second sample project code, so you can download and run it and study the code. Okay. All right. So now let me explain the code. To explain the code, I need to write something. Yeah, so I need the code, I just take the screenshot. Yeah. So after, portion, the features, so each one, I just take screenshot one by one. Then I explain the code on the screenshot. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. First, let's start from the university. The first file. So remember the first PHP file that we display all the data. Yeah. The user's interface. The basic user's interface. That is this uni-input.php. Yeah. So this code. Yeah. So look at the source code. All right. Yeah. So a little long. Yeah. So here I plan to do the screenshot. Yeah. Here. Page by page. So each one, each screen, I just cover, so here, let me cover the feature. Yeah, so this screen, so the first page, this screen. Yeah. So page 1. Yeah. All right, so let me bring up the, screenshot. Software, this one, yeah, and I cut this page here. Then I explain the code on this page here, at this place. Yeah. All right, so the one page of the code. Yeah, probably the first part. Yeah. All right, so let me make it larger. Yeah. Yeah. Here, yeah. So I hope I can, I have enough space to explain the code. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let me. So here I assume, because some of our students may not have a lot of PHP coding experience. So here I just explain all the details. all the details, for beginners. Yeah, for beginners. Yeah. So here, first we know let me change the color. Blue color. So it looks fine. Yeah. All right. First, when we start, we know the PHP code. We use the PHP tag to embed the PHP code. Right? So that's the, a pair of PHP tag. So between we can type our PHP code. Yeah. So everywhere, if you want to embed PHP code, you use this tag. So embed the PHP code. Yeah. Very convenient. Okay. Outside this tag, that's our normal HTML content. Okay. Into HTML content. All right. Then, so the first 3 lines, let me explain the meaning. First 3 lines, look at the dollar and the variable name. So that's the way we represent PHP variable name. Okay? That's the syntax, PHP variable names here. Yeah, that dollar sign. Okay. Yeah. Later, next time when we explain the jQuery, we will also use that dollar sign. Okay. Next time, inside the JavaScript file, we need to write jQuery functions. We will also use that dollar sign. So here you can see, the special symbol. Many different places we use the symbol for different meanings. Here, it's a PHP variable names. Then, look at these 3 PHP variables. I want to use these 3 PHP variables to control 3 parameters. Okay, 3 parameters corresponding to 3 features. Okay, yeah. So let's look at the first one, MN. Yeah. MN refers to manual number, manual. M, manual number. Okay, yeah. So what's that manual? Manual, remember our menu bar, we have 5 tables. In the top menu bar. Okay? How do you control those 5 tables? Yeah. So you use an integer number. Okay? Yeah. So the parameter values from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For these 5 tables. Table 1, 0. Table 2, 1, 2, and so on. Okay? Table 5, 4. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So later we will use these numbers as array indexes, because the table names, we store table names in the array. So we use these numbers as the array indexes. Yeah, so very convenient. So that's the first parameter. Second parameter, Cn, right? Yeah, Cn. Right. Column number, C. Yeah. So this parameter name referred to column number. Yeah. Field. Because sometimes, yeah, so here, mainly we want to use it for column-based sorting feature. Column-based sorting. Yeah. Ascending order, descending order sorting. But we need to know, we need to pass this parameter to our query statement, which field we want to use to do the sorting. Yeah. So this is referred to the column number. Okay, yeah. Also corresponds to the array indices. Yeah. Because the column names, column field names, we also store in an array. So we use, these numbers as array indexes to access the field names. All right. Then the third one, direction, dir. Dir, that refers to direction. Or refer to the, sorting direction. What direction, right? You may ask, what direction? All right, so I need to, go back to the writing mode. So that's the sorting direction. So here you can see one feature we need to use one parameter to control. Okay? 0 refers to the ascending order. And the 1 refers to the descending order. Okay? Yeah. Okay? So 3 features controlled by 3 parameters. And when we write our query statement, so we use the values from these 3 parameters to write our SQL query statements. Then when we execute these SQL statements, so we get these features. That simple. Okay? All right, so let me show the implementation one by one. Yeah. All right. Next, the database connection part. Yeah. So this code segment, this code segment for database connection. Yeah. And in this part, pretty much standard. Yeah. 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 So this code, every time when we need to connect database, so we just copy, change parameter values if necessary, modify slightly. Yeah. So we can do the database connection. Yeah. And sometimes people put this database connection into one small PHP file, then you only need to include the database connection file. Okay? So that's also so here I do not use the include way. So here I just put everything in one file. So when I explain the code, I only use one file. Okay? So I do not need to go to several files to copy the code. Yeah. I just, use one file to explain the code. Yeah. All right. So how to do the connection? Here you can see the first variable DB host. We need to use the host name. The host here, local host. Yeah. So this is the, standard, this local host name. Yeah. Yeah. But if you do not use the local host, so sometimes you may need to use the, remote commercial, yeah, because sometimes you have a domain name, right? Domain, yeah. So you run your web application under certain URL, the domain. You need to pay for the domain fee, monthly fee, or yearly, yeah, actually. So every year you need to pay a certain amount of fee, so you have that domain. Then you can change this DB host variable to your real world domain name. Yeah. Here in our sample project, so local host. Then the MySQL default username password for the root user, top administrator user, that's the root. Okay? Yeah. DB user default. I didn't change anything. I just used directly after I install. Yeah. DB password, nothing. Okay? Yeah. Default. Double quotes, no character. No character in the double quotes, within the double quotes, the password. That's the default. Yeah. But for some students, yeah, I know a few students taking an advanced Java class this semester or previous semester, because in their classes, they need to change to different password. Yeah, because on one computer, you can only install one copy of MySQL. Okay? Yeah, there is a conflict. There is, resource, port number, resource conflict. Yeah. So you can only install one instance. So if in that class, you install MySQL already, so you may only need to use that instance, MySQL instance, okay? Otherwise, you may need to find a different computer, so you install our XAMPP, then you can use our version, okay? Yeah. So if you use that version, this line, you need to change that, that password, okay? So you may need to change. You may need, yeah. As I remember, the password used in that class called, Sesame. It's like Sesame, yeah. Yeah, because I have a few students from that class. Yeah. So they asked me, how to run our project, our sample projects. Yeah. All right, so you need to make sure, okay, if you are taking that class, make sure you need to, so every time when we do database connection, you need to modify your password, okay? Yeah, probably username. So I don't know if you changed the username, okay? Username, password, you need to double check. Yeah. All right. Then, our database name, we call it University DB. So when we create it, yeah, so we call this name, okay? Yeah. If you use a different name, you need to change here, okay? Yeah. So if you have no reason, you just use our same database name. Yeah. If you have some special reason you want to change, you need to make sure you need to change the value here. Okay, all right. Other than that, the remaining, these 3 lines, we just make database connection. And after the connection is created, we have this another variable, $CONN. This is the connection object. Okay, database connection object. Our database connection. It's an object. Object means it contains some data. Yeah. You need to do the database queries. Later, every time when we do database queries, we need to pass this pass this object to the query functions. Okay? Yeah. So for database queries, later you will see. Okay? Yeah. So very straightforward. Yeah. So here, let me just, hopefully you can read easily. All right. Yeah. So here you can see that's the preparation. So at this point, so we do our PHP preparation. So next, we need to work on our data, work on our queries. All right. First part, look at the array definition, this part. Okay. So array, we define an array. First, we need to define array to store the table names. Create array for table names. Yeah. So table array. Each element corresponds to a table name. Yeah. So here, I type exact table name because when we do the table queries, we need to use the table names. Yeah. Here, the purpose. Yeah. Another thing, the reason we use table array, so let me tell you the reason. Yeah. So here, we have 5 tables. Why I use a table array to store 5 table names, right? Yeah. So let me explain. Yeah. Why this way? This way. Okay? The reason, quick reason for efficient coding. Efficient coding. What do you mean efficient coding? Okay? Here, the efficient coding means we have 5 tables. When we write the queries to access 5 tables, here I only want to write one version of the code, and this version code I can use on all 5 tables without change. That's what I mean efficient coding. Yeah. Because some students, when I assigned this project before, some students, so they work before I give them the sample code. Yeah. So some students, so they like to work earlier, so practice. Yeah. But I saw most of those students, for each table they write one version of the code. So 5 tables, they wrote 5 different versions of the table query code. And those 5 versions similar. 5 version code similar. But why you need to write 5 different versions? That's not efficient, right? So I combine. So I merge 5 different table versions of queries into one version, one generic version. So that's more efficient. Here we only have one copy of the code. Yeah. So that's something useful. Okay? So later in the future, so you may like to write efficient code. Yeah. Yeah. Here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So first we declare an array object. After that we assign array elements. Here you can see I do not use index numbers. If you do not use index number, you just use the natural sequence order. The first time index 0, second 1 in ascending order, 3 and 4. Okay? No jumping. Yeah. 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 So this is some convenient way used in PHP because you do not need to explicitly work on some index values. Yeah. So simplify slightly. Okay? Yeah. All right. So that. Now we need to prepare for the query statement. So to prepare for the query statement, what is the table? What table to run the query? Yeah. So the first question we need to answer, what table to run the query? Right? Yeah. Table, remember that $mn, that's the index of the current table. Index of the current table. So here we use its value, mn. Mn, the index of the current table. Okay? Yeah. The index value is retrieved. Here I need to go back to the first line. Index retrieving the table index value. So the first line, retrieve the index of the $mn value. Okay? How to retrieve, here look at the syntax. How to retrieve syntax. Okay? All right. The syntax is here. int val integer value function. Okay? So this function, int function, PHP function. PHP function called int val parenthesis. Okay, so you pass some string value. So this function converts string to integer. Okay, so what does this function do? It does convert a string value to an index value. No, sorry, an integer value. All right, string value. Yeah, so in an integer value. Okay. Yep. So why is that string value to? Yeah. So jumping. So yeah. All right. Yeah. Then move down, move up, and move down. All right. So why? So you may wonder why converting a string value to an integer value, right? Why is that? Because look at this. Yeah. Filter input. Filter input, I explain. Yeah, filter. I explain this later. Let's look at this. You know, when we retrieve the value, the first parameter, capital input underscore get, that's the PHP internal constant. Yeah. Some PHP internal constant. Yeah. We don't need to know the value, okay? PHP constant. So you just know, input underscore get. We retrieve the parameters from get method. Yeah. HTTP. Yeah. So here, HTTP has two methods. Yeah. So here we use two HTTP protocol. Okay. So here, when we type URL, we type HTTP colon something, HTTP protocol. But the HTTP, there are two methods. Yeah, actually more than two. Two commonly used methods we use to send data. Yeah. So here, two commonly used methods. The one is called a get method, another is a post method. Here, we use the get method to send our data. Yeah. Later, sometimes we will use post method to send the data. And what's the difference? Later, when I have a little more time, I will explain get method and the post method. Okay? Yeah. So today I do not have that much time. So today I just explain our main features. Yeah. Later, when I have more time, I explain difference of these two methods, get method and the post method. Okay, all right. Here we use the get method. So you can see int underscore get, that parameter name. Parameter name. Name is called mn. That's our parameter name. Yeah. 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 So how to send PHP parameter value, we will see that later, okay? So, because there is a question. How to send a PHP parameter value to another PHP program. So I will answer this question, later. Later. We will get there, okay? All right, how to send a parameter. So here, you just know there is some way to send a PHP parameter value, but in this program will retrieve. Yeah. So another program already sent the value. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, this same program, okay? Same program already sent the parameter value. Here, it is sent to itself. Yeah. So this program send that value to itself. Okay. It's okay. This program send it to itself. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah. The program send the value to itself. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. Here, so we retrieve the value stored somewhere. Yeah. It is stored in an object. So what's that object? The data. Data sent by some program. Our situation, some program, right? Yeah. sent by some program is stored some hidden place, you cannot see it, stored in an HTTP request object. HTTP request object. Okay? Yeah. So here, there is a hidden object, request object, later, and a response object. Return. The object returned by the server, it's called a response object. Later, we will also talk about the response object. Request object and the response object. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So here, the data retrieve, where do we retrieve the data? That request object. Okay? All right. Yeah. So then, after that, you can see this, the current table name. This variable $table underscore name, this variable store the current table name. Yeah. Student, yeah. Every time when we change a table by click the hyperlink, we change this value. All right? Yeah. Okay. So that then we form the query. So look at this one. The SQL. Oh, I need to explain another concept. Yeah. I just remember here. Look at the string to integer value conversion. I talk about this function, right? Yeah. Convert a string value to an integer value. Yeah. Here, I haven't finished that. Yeah. So here you can see a lot of details. Yeah. So let's get to this, the first line again. The first line, yeah. Before we do the conversion, another point I want to explain. Filter function, filter underscore input. Yeah. This function is important. Yeah. Because when we retrieve data from the users, yeah, the data, remember, the user entered the data. The data could be entered by the user. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So when we process the data from the users, we want to, do some security-related data check. Yeah. For security reason. Okay? For security reason. Yeah. For security reason, we need to, make sure the data is normal, not harmful data. Okay, we need to make sure that, yeah, for security reason. Okay, filter the data. Okay, yeah. So we should, every time we should filter out the harmful code. All right? Filter out the harmful code. Yeah. Because there is some hacker, so the hackers, they can embed some harmful code into your data. Okay? So some special attack, embedded, that kind of attack, right? Yeah. So so here we do not need to write our own code to do that because, too complicated. Yeah. So here we just use the existing PHP function to do that filtering. Okay? Filter underscore input. Yeah. So you call that function. Yeah. After that, then this function int val, we convert the string value to integer value. So now you may ask me, why string value, right? Why the input originally, input data items originally are string values? Yes. All PHP data is in the string format initially. Yeah. Yeah. Because the data entered on the web page, the data entered even the numerical values, but their original format, string format. Okay? Yeah. So the original data format. String. Okay? Yeah, yeah. Let me write it better. String. Okay? Yeah. So you have to do the conversion, all right? Yeah. Otherwise, if you use it in your certain operations that you need to use the integer values, you may get a problem. Yeah. Sometimes you need to use arithmetic operations. Sometimes you need to use array indexes. You may get a problem. Okay? Yeah. So here we call that function to convert it to string. Yeah. All right. Then when we use this value, so int val to do the conversion. Yeah. So for example, so here there is a special case, int val, because there is special case, your string could be empty value. Yeah. Because the first time when we run the program, nobody passes the value to the program. Initially, the data is empty string. Yeah. Yeah. Initially, some parameters, they have the empty string as the initial value. Then this function, when you pass the empty string, it will return 0. Okay? The integer 0. So it's fine. 0 here, it's a valid index, right? Yeah. So that's the reason you see we use 0 to represent the default case. The default table, the default field name, the default direction, number, and so on. Right? Yeah. So it's meaningful. It's meaningful. The 0. Okay? All right. Yeah. Yeah. So here you can see our first page. We have so many things to learn, to explain. Yeah. So later I will save this page. Yeah. So you can, study. Yeah. All right. Then, after that, the database query. So look at the database, the SQL query statement. This line. All right. Show columns from table name. Yeah. So this SQL statement returns the column names. Column names. Yeah. So then we result. So look at this result equals result1 equals MySQL underscore query function. When we run the query, look at the first parameter, we pass the database connection object name to it. Yeah. Based on the syntax, you pass the database connection object name to it. Okay. Then the second parameter, the SQL string. So you execute the SQL statement with this database connection object. Yeah. All right. And this is the version, MySQL I version. Look at the function name, MySQL I underscore query. This version. This is newer version. There is an older version without I. Older version called MySQL underscore query. The older version, you do not need to pass the database connection object because it uses the current database object. There is a current effective database object. It just uses the current one. Okay? Yeah. But newer version is better than the old version because you can create multiple database objects. So in your program, you can access multiple databases. The older way, you can only access one database because you cannot change database connection objects. You can only use the current one, the default one, the default current one. Okay? Yeah. So the newer version, you can create several database connection objects. So you can jump, you can get data from different databases and do manipulation. Yeah. So the newer version is better than the older version. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So then after you do the queries, you need to retrieve data from the result table. This while loop gives you the basic syntax for data retrieval. While record. So record is a temporary variable name. Yeah, because we want to retrieve record by record, row by row. Yeah. Each time in this while loop condition part, we retrieve the current row of the table, result table. Result is a table. So we retrieve the result row by row. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the MySQL I fetch underscore array and the result object $result1. So every time you retrieve the current row, yeah. But the current row, there are several columns, elements. We don't need all of them. We only need the first one. All right. So the table name, field name. So we create a field array. So field is an array. Yeah. Field array. The first element in that row is the field name. So we store it in the field array. So here you can see, yeah. So our field is another array, although you do not see we declare this field array, right? Yeah. But when you use it first time, if you didn't declare it before, PHP just create one for you. Okay? So sometimes people may not declare it explicitly, yeah. But when you use it the first time, PHP will create one for you. Yeah. So you don't worry. So we have it. So here you can see we retrieve all the field names for our current table. So later we will display all these field names. Yeah. All right. Then option. Yeah. So here, yeah, so here the option, I use this OPT ARR array I store, so basically I store titles of the table. So I call the option because I need to create hyperlinks. Yeah. So these are the anchor. Remember, we need to use anchor strings for hyperlinks. Yeah. So they are anchor strings for the table hyperlinks. Okay? Hyperlinks. Yeah. All right. Okay? Yeah. All right. Yeah. On the page, because we need to make it on the page. Okay? All right. Yeah. So that is the first page. Yeah. We do not have that much time. Yeah, because there are a lot of basic features I need to explain. So we use a lot of time. Yeah. Yeah. But later, after we learn more and more, yeah, so then we can learn things faster. Okay? So here basically I give you the background. I give you the PHP database coding background and also some HTTP basics. Yeah. So here you can see in the first page, so I explain a lot of background information. Okay? So hopefully so you can understand. Not too hard. Okay? All right, so let me save this page. So later I upload, so you can download and study. Yeah. All right. So here, let me just put so today it's a part D, right? Yeah. So the notes, module 5, part D. Yeah. Yeah. So here, this page, let me call it, coding page 1. Page 1, okay? All right, yeah. So then save. Yeah, all right, so later, so I upload it, so then you study, okay? All right, so you have all the source code, yeah. But if you want to understand the background information, so you can use my explanation. Okay? Yeah. All right. So today, so let me stop right here. So next time, I plan to talk about, yeah, so I keep explaining the code, but two important technologies I want to talk about. One, yeah, next time, one AJAX. Okay? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So here, yeah, let me use the, this space. The first, oh, yeah, what's wrong? Yeah, probably this area, I cannot write things on that area. So let me write here, okay? All right. So one technology, oh, yeah, yeah. So let me click this, see. Yeah. One, oh, still, yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, one is the AJAX, another jQuery. So I talk about, basics of these technologies. Yeah. So then, the remaining features I also explain in my second sample project. Okay. All right. So that's it. Yeah. So I will upload all these things, sample code and the screenshot quickly, so you can study. All right, that's it.